I just love when this shit works, man. You know, it's like, we want to live in a world where when you put out good, it creates more good. And, one candle lights another. It doesn't mean that candle gets dimmer. Like, we want the world to work that way. So when we hear that it actually does. Hi there.
Hi, I have been oh my gosh, so excited all day long. I have to say thank you for saying yes.
I am so excited to chat with you. I appreciate that. So I really do appreciate that. I receive that enthusiasm very, very humbly, but I'll tell you, I'm a big fan of yours too. I keep an eye in the groups and I notice who's superficially making a show of trying and who's really, really in there doing the work. And your name is not new to me, Rebecca.
When I wrote you, I do want to reflect back the impact, and I'm a yoga teacher, so it's like, so that it can land with you and you be acknowledged for the work and the strength and the vulnerability and everything that you've put out there, because it's landing, and it's landing in ways that you're never going to know, because it's the ripple effect. I mean, it's landing with people that I don't even know that have come to my YouTube channel because you gave me the foundation to be able to put that sucker up.
That's so cool. I'm so proud of you and happy for myself in a I think a healthy, non-ego way. Like, I just love when this shit works, man. It's like, we want to live in a world where when you put out good, it creates more good. And, one candle lights another. It doesn't mean that candle gets dimmer. Like, we want the world to work that way. So when we hear that it actually does, thank goodness, because it'd be really depressing if it didn't work. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to be here, honestly, Rebecca. And I appreciate and I receive everything you said. And, we'll get into, I assume, we'll get into talking about the details of my life and what I do. But I'm grateful for what it's worth. And I mean this in the least egocentric way I can say it. You are proof to me that what I'm trying to do actually works. And I thank you so much for that.
And I thank you, and we can have a little mutual appreciation fest.
Right.
And I'm in Texas. I'm in Austin, Texas. So before I
appreciate you a little extra then, because I'm from Texas.
Well, and I'm sitting here sweating because I put the AC on for an hour and then turn it off for the sound. So when I get a little glistening, but just in case we have a thunderstorm or anything, so we get cut off, I want to take a moment with your permission to reflect to you what you are doing out there in the world and how it's landing with people, and the fact that you put yourself out there in strength and in vulnerability. And I know ENTRE started about 2 or 3 years ago, and anything that's worth anything takes about 2 or 3 years to start getting the momentum. And this morning I was walking my little guy, I have a second grader, to school. And when I was walking back and I was thinking about talking to you today, and I had this feeling of, I don't know if you've ever been surfing, but when you're on a board, I'm not a great surfer, but when you're on a board and you're out there paddle, and suddenly you feel like a little pull back with the water and then a push, and all of a sudden it's like effortless to be raised up. Like, that's what it's starting to feel like. It's what it's starting to feel like. And I'm going to say another thing, and this is kind of goofy. So I used to work in film and TV for like 20 years as my day job. And I had a dream about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was on stages, I was on set, and you were in a room, and I walked over and you said, "Hey, Rebecca, I want to show you something." And I said, "Okay." And you started running, but you're running faster than I'm running. So I grab your hand and we're running, and all of a sudden I start flying, and it's that same surge. So I know, to be woo-woo, it's like the universe is starting to give ENTRE and the people around it that momentum. So I hope that
I mean, I don't really know what to. Can't we wait like at least 30 minutes before we get all emotional? And
no, because we may have a thunderstorm.
we gotta get into the deep end right out of the gate, right? Yeah, no, I really appreciate that because it's been so freaking hard to do this. It's been really hard. And I don't want any sympathy. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like, thank heavens. It's like you bet it all on yourself because you believe that that's what the universe rewards. And that's what entrepreneurialism demands. And the philosophies and the ideologies and the convictions and the beliefs that I've spent decades developing in my own life demanded that I do this. Mm-hmm. And I'm a pretty convicted guy. Like when I decide, I think my decisions mean as much or more than most in terms of what I'm willing to do to follow through and make them right. But there's always that question. Mm-hmm. What if this wasn't the one? What if this is meant to just be another tribulation on to get you to the next step? And it's like, yeah, but this one was really exhausting. Like I don't want this to be a tribulation. I want this to actually be a win.
Yeah.
And so, and I've known for a while that this thing is really gaining momentum and building and compounding and in the most meaningful and permanent of ways, which is through the impact on other people, not like the bottom line or how our funnels are converting or how many courses we're selling, but like the conversations like this are what tell me that this has been building for a while. But it is, dare I say, knock on wood, not to jinx it, it is actually getting easier. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about is we're starting to feel that lift. It's coincidental we're talking today. I had a call this morning. You guys have been hearing me talk about, I'm going to write a book. I'm working on a book. I've been working on my book for like over a year now.
You've also been doing other things. It's like, it's not.
To be fair. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate you pointing that out. But we have a deal. We have a 6-figure advance deal from a major publisher that's going to get it into bookstores and airports and all, and it's like, a 6-figure advance, very few people get that on their first book, especially if it's not like, I'm not the CEO of Delta Airlines or, but the story, the community, just the energy, the raw givingness that I've been putting out, apparently it counts for something.
It does. It does. Yeah. And I've seen some of your posts that I kind of intuited in some ways is why I wrote you this email of saying, can I reflect back to you, or can I frame what you're doing is landing? Because I was kind of wondering if you were hearing that.
I hear a large palette of commentary, and some of it is very kind and positive, and much of it isn't. Much of it, and it's not. I don't really get a lot of like just totally dark hate anymore. I think I'm kind of past that phase because the optics show that, hey, this guy has some support for what he's doing. So it's like bullies like to pick on you when you're alone, right? They don't like to pick on you when you're with your friends. And people see me now as having friends. So like they're not overtly mean, but I think there's 2 different ways it shows up. One is just apathy and skepticism. Like, well, if I'm the fact that I'm becoming successful in what I'm trying to do must mean that it's a trick.